The final night of our meditation retreat, we look once more at Nisargadatta's text, Consciousness in the Absolute, the final talks of Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj. We do so, though, from the point of view of meditative investigation. We read a passage, and that is part of the triple method of Advaita Vedanta. And we simply want to drink deeply of this passage. From there, we want to dive deep into its essence, to explore through meditative inquiry what it really means from the inside, what the teaching is really directly pointing us to. In this case, I have quite a long passage I'd like to quote from the text in question. In the consciousness hierarchy, Nisargadatta states, there are 3 stages. 1. Jiva Atman is the one who identifies himself with the body-mind. One who thinks, I am a body, a personality, an individual apart from the world. He excludes and isolates himself from the world as a separate personality because of identification with the body and the mind. 2. Next, only the beingness or the consciousness, which is the world. I am means my whole world, just being and the world. Together with the beingness, the world is also felt. That is Atman. And 3, the ultimate principle that knows this beingness cannot be termed at all. It cannot be approached or conditioned by any words. That is the ultimate state. And so what Nisargadatta provides us with is indeed a very direct path or line, one that leads from the separate personality, the body-mind, the ego self, to the sense of I amness, or what he also calls the sense of presence as such, or what he also calls beingness, or what he also calls knowingness, or knowing the I am, and so on. So we move from I'm this, you might say, to I amness. In the 3rd stage, we move past even I amness, or consciousness in his terms, and realize that we are simply and directly the ultimate, the nameless ultimate, the para Brahman. It's worth reciting that once more before we dive headlong into the meditation itself. The investigation, this form of self-inquiry, begins with a very strong identification, namely with I am the body, or I am the body-mind. And in this case, Maharaj wants to call it the separate personality. Through a kind of neti-neti, we come to realize that we are just this sense of presence as such. As I said last night, quoting Maharaj, you know that you are. It is self-evident to you There's no sense of individuality or personality. It's an immediate sense of I am, of simply being, of simply being aware. It is a naive, pre-reflective awareness. Yet, quite rightly, Maharaj wants to say that this is no more than a portal or a door through which we must pass. And why is this so? Because the sense of I amness still has a sense of itself as being a knower of a very subtle state. As a result, this too must go. This too is manifestation. And truly what we long for above all else is the unmanifest. The unmanifest that we are. This then is our itinerary this evening. Following Nisargadatta's instructions, then we begin with the seemingly separate personality. You might begin by recalling very strong likes, as well as very strong dislikes. What is it that you, this body mind, really likes, really goes after, chases after, and hopes to grab onto? What do you keep chasing after? And what is it that you keep fleeing from or pushing away or turning from, or even feeling as if you have to shut down when in the presence of this? These attachments and aversions, these desires and fears, these strong likes and strong dislikes are giving us clues about just where we still believe that we are this body mind, this separate personality. Can you begin to let those go this evening? Concerning the separate personality, we might say that it is a tendency to have certain thoughts and feelings. There may be a tendency to be hypervigilant, and if so, that would be called a personality trait. So you might ask yourself, what sorts of tendencies seem to be observable now? Ones that I have claimed are my own, that are signs of my personality. I tend to be this way, and perhaps I tend not to be that way. Can you see how you are getting stuck right here? Getting stuck and tending to have these thoughts and tending to have these emotions. Just for now, can we let these go in order to trace a very sinewy subtle path up to I Amness. We are looking for a narrow passageway to what is prior to the emergence of the belief that I am a separate personality. This might help. If I am not this separate personality, not this strong like, not this strong dislike, if I am not this tendency to do this, the tendency to emote that, the tendency to think this, then who is this pure, simple awareness? Right now, can you abide in the childlike state of I Amness? We might hear it as a mantra and let it point us to its essence. And that mantra would be, I am. I am. Just I am. If you try to add anything on top of I am, or out to the right of I am, you have superimposed something onto pure I Amness. The sense of presence as such. Right now, then, watch and explore while being this sense of presence as such. Get a sense of the substance as well as of the contours of this sense of presence, this simple beingness. And then just stabilize in this mere sense of simple awareness. Which means that any mind arising right now is to be watched as if from a distance. Any sounds, any thoughts, any feelings that seem to leap forward are to be watched Power involves, at this stage, effortfully abiding in the sense of presence. There really does need to be a somewhat muscular holding on to I amness. It is a gentle muscularity and unwaveringness. An unwilling resolve to be pulled outward. It's as if I amness were to say, right here, as if it were to stay right here, as if in a good sense the frame were stuck, or in a good sense fixed right here. And then we wish to, as it were, explore the impossible, the wiping clean of I amness, the washing away of vestigial separation. Can there just be silence? As I amness loses itself in the absolute. Can there just be complete surrender? Complete openness. Can the openness be so open that it opens back on itself? And in so opening, undoes itself. Can there be a wiping clean of a sense of amness and of a sense of I-ness? A wiping clean of I amness. Does anything need to be held on to any longer? Can even this sense or feeling just be involuted, just be resurrected, just be absorbed in the ineffable fullness. Is there even anything left to be absorbed? Is there even anything left to be absorbed? Is there even anything left to be absorbed?